Trinity, B1, GESE. How do I choose my topic? How do I choose my subtopics? This is the biggest question that I get asked on this website, so let's do it. Today, I want to talk about travel because travel is a really good subject. And someone asked me, can you tell me subtopics? There are many subtopics you could choose. There are probably hundreds of subtopics. I could give you five, and you might pass the test with distinction. And I could give another person those five and they fail the exam. Because subtopics, the important thing is that they should be from you. Because the examiner can tell when you're talking about something that is yours, it shows. And it will help you to get a better score. So let's look at this today and let's work through how you can choose your subtopics using my international travel as an example. Let's go. So first thing, go to the Trinity College website and download this form. This is your topic form. So there's place for your topic and for 5 subtopic points. Remember, good topic options are hobbies, sports, career, or travel. Trinity tells us do not choose family, best friend, or pet. And also don't choose points, which are the examiner conversation topics. Festivals, means of transport, special occasions, entertainment, music, or recent personal experiences. So we're going to use the example of travel today because that's a great topic to choose. Trinity tells us that. We choose our topic and subpoints based on how we're graded. These are the Trinity grading criteria. Recent past, which is simple past. Indefinite past, which is present perfect. Reasons, preferences. Future, duration, how long things take. And quantifying, a little, a lot. I like to put these here on paper as I'm brainstorming, as I'm preparing my form. So these are the topic areas we want to focus on. We want to write our topic points so that it's easy for the examiner to give us questions. So I put my past, present perfect, reasons, preferences, and future duration and quantifying will happen somewhere here. The title of the topic goes in the center. So we have said already that we want to use my international travel, maybe experiences, or it could be one experience, but we'll see. We'll start with something and we can change this as we go. I like to think about who, what, when, where, why. So if you're looking at this blank form and thinking, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to write, let's start there. Think about who do you travel with? Or who do you go to visit? Or what? What do you go to see? Do you go to see art museums, historical places? Do you go on journeys for religious purposes? What or why do you go somewhere? So as you're thinking about travel, what comes to the front of your mind? What would you talk about? If you're telling a friend about your travel experiences, what would you tell them? For example, if people talked about me and how I like to travel early in the morning. I'm an early bird. I like that vocabulary, early bird. I am not a night owl. I travel early, before the sun rises. So that's a great point I could use with preferences. I don't want to travel at night. Give me my coffee and I'm off. I'm off to the airport. So I would write a travel point about preferences, about how I like to travel early in the morning. Something like that. Let's give it a try. We could say why. Why I prefer. That's a good way to start. Why I prefer traveling in the morning instead of at night. I could say sentences like, I prefer traveling in the morning because the airport is quiet. I prefer traveling in the morning because there are no crowds. It's easy to get a seat on the train or the bus. I prefer traveling in the morning because it's very calm and peaceful compared to at night when it's so busy and crazy and chaotic. I prefer traveling in the morning. That's a good one. What else can I write about? I need to say something in the past. Some ideas are things like my first international trip. We could talk about my best international trip. So let's keep this here for now and let's think about our present perfect box. That's the things I have done. So experiences. Have you ever been to Paris? I have been to Paris. Or it's things with recently. Things I've recently done. I have recently been to Paris. It could be either of those. When you think about it, what are some big experiences that you had? Because that's probably a present perfect. For example, I went to Italy with my cousins. We did a cousins family trip. So I could use something with that, I think. I'm going to say traveling to Italy with my cousins because I can use a lot of present perfect with that. The examiner might ask me something like, have you been to Italy? Yes, I had been to Italy. I went with my cousins 5 years ago. And I could talk lots about the Italy trip, what we did, what we saw, what we have seen. We have seen the Colosseum. We have been to many places. I like that one. I like that one so much. I'm going to put that in the box right now. Reasons. This is usually something that starts with why. It could be something like why I like to travel alone, or why I like to travel with my friend, why I like to travel. That could be it too. Why I like to travel. Example, one student told me in the past about she grew up under communism. She did not have the opportunity to travel until she was 25 years old. And she explained to me how important it was, why she liked to travel, because she couldn't when she was younger, and travel was very important to her as an adult. Why I like to travel. I could give reasons for that. I like to travel because I like to go new places and see new things. I really like to eat new foods, vegetarian foods in other countries. There's lots I could say in that category. Future duration and quantifying. So we need to think of something in the future. It could be my next trip. That's an easy future question. Where will you go next? Where is your next international trip? We could think about duration also and quantifying. I could do something like my longest trip. My most expensive trip. My cheapest trip. There's lots of stuff we could do here. We could also make something here my next long trip. That might combine both future and duration. So, do you have any future trips planned? Yes, I will go to this, and that. Do you have any long future trips planned, or do you prefer short trips? I prefer long trips. What's your next long trip? I think we could work with that. Let's come back here. Now that I see this, my international travel experiences. I've already talked over here about traveling with my cousins to Italy, so I need to make sure that I'm not saying the same thing in a different box. So I might take my first international trip, because that was not Italy, just so that I have a different one. because the Italy trip was my best international trip. So I need two different ones. My first international trip was to Edinburgh. My best international trip was to Italy. Why I like to travel, why I prefer traveling in the morning instead of at night, and I'm going to take my next long trip as my last point. My next long trip will be to America. So let's clean this up. So after we finished brainstorming, we have a form that looks like this. My title is in the center, my international travel experiences, and then my subpoints are around the side. At the exam, the examiner will say, "Can I have your form, please? May I have your topic form, please?" Or if you're doing the exam online, they will ask you to verbally say your topics. Either way, you should be ready to say what your topic is and your 5 subpoints. So something like this. The examiner will say, "Can you tell me your topic, please?" Or something like that. Your answer is, "My topic is my international travel experiences." The examiner will say, "Thank you. And what are your 5 subtopic points, please?" Then you say something like this. My 5 subtopic points are: number 1, my first international trip. Second, traveling to Italy with my cousins. Third, why I like to travel. Fourth, why I prefer traveling in the morning instead of at night. And last, my next long trip. The examiner will normally say, "Thank you." Or they might ask you to repeat one, because sometimes they don't write very quickly, so don't talk very fast, even if you are nervous. Be calm. Then the examiner will say, "Thank you." And they'll start with a general question. "Do you enjoy traveling?" "Oh, yes, I enjoy traveling very much." "And do you like international travel?" "Ah, yes, I love international travel." "Ah, that's great. Where was your first international trip?" "My first international trip was to Edinburgh, Scotland. It was 20 years ago. It's the first time that I used my passport." "Wow, that's interesting. Was it for work or for fun?" "It was a work trip." "Wow, and do you get to do any fun trips?" "Yes, I do many fun trips. For example, I have been to Italy with my cousins." "Ah, you have been to Italy with your cousins." "Yes, I went to Italy with my cousins 5 years ago." So now I switch to simple past. I have been to Italy. I went to Italy 5 years ago with my cousins. We had a great time. We went to Rome and Venice and Florence. We saw the countryside and the city. We went to many churches, and we did eat pizza also. The food was so yummy. It was a great trip. Tell me, did you travel in the morning or do you prefer to travel at night? I prefer to travel in the morning because I'm an early bird. I love getting up early and getting my day moving quickly. Do you have any future trips planned? Oh, yes, I have a few trips planned actually. And when's your next long trip? Well, I have a 2-week trip planned to America. I will go to visit my family in the winter. And that's really your exam. So that's international travel and how you can make your own travel points for my topic for the Trinity exam. Keep studying, keep learning English.